Hello there, my name is Thomas Krallo and welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk all things trading, finances and money in general. Now today a topic that I wanted to discuss for quite a while, and that is there are quite a few companies that I am quite upset with, but the most upsetting company out of all of them for me is the Apple company. And a lot of people are believing in Apple and a lot of people are buying Apple stock, etc., which I have nothing against, whatever. I mean, it's a big company, it's got good potential, etc. However, a lot of people fail to notice the criminal activities of Apple Incorporated. I mean, Apple in general as a company, I understand the reasons why they do it. So in the world of capitalism and everybody trying to make a buck, it's all understandable. However, I really wanted to point it out in my YouTube channel for people to just educate themselves. And if you know all of this already, good for you. About 90% of people, they just live in their own small worlds in the vacuum, not knowing anything what's going on in the world around them. And for example, with Apple, which is done by, once again, many other companies, so Apple is not the only one that does it, but what they do is, for example, let's take their iPhones, and it's especially vivid with iPhones. So when you buy yourself an iPhone, which costs now like nice used small car, basically, you can get a car for the price of a brand new iPhone. And if you wanna, tune it up to 512 gigabytes, that's the one that I usually get because I need a lot of storage, then that thing is bloody expensive, even for me. I mean, I always feel so much pain in my heart to give away like $1,700, $1,500, and in Europe they're even more expensive. So it's absolutely unbelievable. So the cost is really high. However, sure, I mean, the product that you're getting for that money, it's not bad. I mean, otherwise people wouldn't be buying it. The Apple products are in general, probably maybe even argue that they are the best. Okay, it depends on what you need and what kind of a product that you're using, but it certainly isn't the worst. So you get enough value for the money. However, and it's not the problem, and the problem starts after you use it for 1 year. So for example, you have an iPhone, you've paid like $1,500 for it. In about 1 year, when a new iPhone comes out, what happens to your old iPhone? Now, does it start glitching? Maybe the camera is not as responsive as it used to be, or maybe the quality of the camera is complete garbage, or maybe when you're typing a message, it's, you've typed a certain sentence and then you just read the sentence, you're like, what the fuck who wrote this? I mean, I didn't even write it in this way. And sometimes when I type messages, they are just, complete rubbish. I mean, I don't know who was writing those messages. And so it's not autocorrect, it's just the way that I'm mistyping for some bloody reason, and it never happened before, but now it starts to happen. And my iPhone, by the way, it's about 2 years old. I still have iPhone 10 Max Plus, whatever, the biggest one, and I've never had a reason why I should go and buy another one just because a new one came out. I'm a wealthy individual, but I'm not an idiot. I only buy things if I need them. I don't throw money out on completely useless things. Well, mostly, but sure, there are people who, tech geeks who like to stay up to date with absolutely everything, and they always get the newest one, newest iPhone, newest MacBook, which my MacBook, look, it's 2015, but it still works fine, surprisingly, but I still use it because if it works fine, why should I get another one? So, and the same thing goes with iPhones, but with iPhones, it's a different story. Each time a new iPhone comes out, the old one becomes garbage. And it doesn't become garbage because it's old and because it's like, it's not like it's an old car, like 20-year-old piece of machinery that just, had a lifespan of how many ever hours of, work, and because of the metal parts and rolling pieces that, whatever, it's even difficult for me to explain it right now, but the question here is, how can a $1,500 device from Apple become so bad in just under 12 months or 24 months or 2 years of time. This iPhone, the quality of the image is garbage. The video sometimes is completely, there is no focus in the video. It's impossible to type a message. And I mean, the glass, the screen, everything is stock. I did not break it, I did not bend it or anything. It's just the way it was from the factory. So there is no reason for it, technical reason for it to be worse than what it was 2 years ago. So what they do is, with each single update that comes out for your devices, they are slowing down the old iPhones. Why are they slowing down the old iPhones? Well, because the progress is not so fast for them to develop some extraordinary technology for you to actually have a reason to buy a new phone again. And they are creating this feeling that there is a huge difference between the previous iPhone and the new iPhone by slowing down and decreasing the performance of the old iPhone using all the updates. So whenever you're updating your phone, some of the things get updated, but some of the things get downgraded actually, like your camera. For example, the camera of iPhone 10, right now it works at maybe 30% of its potential, or 50% or whatever, I don't know, I did not measure it, but it's at least half. It's not as good, completely not as good as it was when I bought it, because I remember those incredible effects and the camera was just outstanding. Right now it's partially complete garbage, to be honest. And so they do it to give you incentive and give you a reason to go out and buy a new iPhone. So how is this not a criminal organization that is manipulating the device that you've already paid for, so that you would have a reason to go buy another one because this one got old and this one is not usable anymore, and you are really frustrated with the performance of your device, thinking that it got old, when in reality the corporation itself made it old by just decreasing its performance via all the updates and stuff. So how are they not being charged with fraud? I remember that there were some instances when Apple did have some problems because of this, but they, frankly, from what I understand, I'm not an expert, I'm just a consumer in this particular situation. I'm a consumer who just expresses my own unfortunate experience and a completely unpleasant opinion about this whole situation. So I'm not into details, so if I'm wrong about anything, please correct me in the comments below. But in general, and I think that most of you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you know exactly the reasons why your iPhone is getting worse and worse each year as you use it actively, and with each and single new model that is coming out. Or not, but this is exactly how it happens. Your iPhone doesn't get worse because it gets old. I mean, a few years is not enough time for such a piece of technology to go bad suddenly. I mean, it's not an Apple, so it can rot in like a few days, or it's done on purpose for you to buy the next one. So how is this not a conspiracy? How is this not fraud? How is this not a reason to put a bunch of people to prison for many, many years? It's a perfect reason why it doesn't happen, because I mean, Apple is a huge part of the economy and nobody wants to fuck with them, to be honest. So they can do things that me and you, we cannot do. So certain crimes, certain financial manipulations and product manipulations will go untold and, swiped under the rug. There is nothing you can do about it. And that's also another reason why I'm telling you about all of this, because life is not what it seems. I mean, everything and everywhere you have to be incredibly super careful. There are so many things out there in the life that trying to get you, that you should just always keep your eyes peeled. Always be careful, always be attentive. And when you are attentive to these kinds of details, you'll always be attentive to the opportunities. So that also means that you will be able to spot an opportunity for perhaps for a business, or for whatever. So this is developing you as a human being. So many of my friends, they're all great people and I love them very much, but as people, they're quite dull. So they're really slow, they don't really care, they don't really know anything, they don't really understand anything. And they're sweet, they're nice, I love them. I mean, they are just my amazing friends and family and etc. But they are just dull. I mean, if something happens in life, they will be the last to know. And even if I tell them to the face, listen, Peter, for example, Peter, this and that will happen, you must do this and that, he'll be like, oh, Thomas, oh, wow, I gotta think about it. I don't know, I mean, what were you saying? Don't be one of these people. Listen, see, analyze, and only then you will progress. And the same goes for trading. I mean, the market changes, see the details, be that, don't be the victim, be the hunter, not the hunted. I know that all of these sayings are very, funny and simple, but it's true. I mean, you're either a hunter or a hunted. And we are constantly hunted by companies like Apple, companies like Rolex, a super, supposedly a very rare watch, a Daytona, whatever, a piece of metal that they can keep producing infinitely, but for some reason there is a 10-year wait on a steel Rolex Daytona. And because of it, the price on the gray market is the double of the price you would normally pay at a Rolex dealer, retail store. So it just makes no sense. This is absolutely synthetically induced. It's like a bubble that is about to pop, and everybody is going, and iPhone is doing the same. They're holding back their supply. And actually right now I've ordered 2 new iPhone 12 Pros, S Max, whatever, the most gigabytes, the hugest one for the purpose of the work that I'm doing, because this iPhone 10 is just unbearable. I cannot work with it anymore. So I really need a new iPhone. So I ordered one for myself and for Sophia. So I'm paying these guys and they're making money off of me. And the worst thing is that, I mean, I've ordered them and I've been waiting for them for like 4 weeks. I mean, you cannot deliver phones? Is this such a big problem? And I'm pretty sure that they're doing it on purpose to make people get used to the fact that iPhone is something desirable. By waiting for that iPhone, you feel, that you learn that iPhone is important, that it's rare, that you must wait for it. And this is the marketing technique of 2021, basically. So this is what marketing guys are doing in Rolex, in Audemars Piguet as well, by the way, with iPhones, with some cars as well. So this is just a mind game, and it's just a one huge scam. It's just a one big fraud, and people are just running around so happily with an iPhone when I'm about to give them almost around $4,000 for 2 new iPhones. I will be very sad on the day when I pay them $4,000 for those 2 new iPhones. Very, very sad, because I know precisely whom I've given my money to and what I got back for that money. And I know very well that when iPhone 13, 14, whatever will come out, and the one that I've just paid for will be manually reduced down to nothing, so that I can actually go back and buy it again. So it's a never-ending cycle of bullshit, fraud, and misery. And this is the world that we live in, and unfortunately, most of the people are falling victims to this capitalism and this monetization of absolutely everything. And I mean, it's business. Everybody's trying to make a buck, that's absolutely fine. But just be really careful. As me, I mean, I'm still buying an iPhone, but I know these things. So I am keeping my eyes open, and I don't give them money unless I absolutely have to. So that's the only difference. All right, I really hope that this video was helpful in some way. If it was, please leave me a like, and I'll see you in the next videos.